The new season coming up is, well, the new season, it's here, folks. It was here yesterday as we record February 6, 2024. Black Order shows up for Marvel Snaps. Let's start with the cards here. First up, the premier card that comes with the season pass is Black Swan, a 3-cost, 5-power card. On reveal until the end of your next turn, your 1-cost cards cost 0.
To start a variant, a Natalie Portman variant subset for Jane Foster and Black Swan.
Oh yes.
See what I did there?
Black Swan. Is that a movie reference?
That's the one she won the Oscar for.
That's what I thought. Okay.
She was the ballerina who was going crazy.
There you go.
Really makes me rethink my kids taking dance. But anyway.
I'm bringing this up, and the only reason I am is because you might know something that I don't, or maybe you have an idea as to why this is being said. But I have heard a lot of people talking about how this card is supposedly broken. However, the only thing that I could think of was Thanos.
That's the only thing I could figure out. I've seen her once. The season just started yesterday, and White Palace put her in my hand, or she didn't really do anything. But I've only seen her the one time, but that's the only thing I can think of, because the Infinity Stones it's not broken, but they're pretty
strong.
Good for the minimal investment you put in, and now suddenly
there's no investment in them. You don't.
But you have to wait till turn 3 to do that. But I guess what it helps you do is make sure you get the stones out in time to power up Thanos.
All right. Or and the other thing that I put down here, I believe you'll see Bishop.
Oh yeah,
Bishop will be out there, and let's just say you wait until turn 5.
And maybe even power up Hitmonkey finally.
That's true. Hitmonkey's going to be big.
Hitmonkey at Thanos' side where he's always belonged.
Let's say you got Bishop out there, which Bishop costs 3, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Bishop turn 3, and then hopefully maybe you have a good bit of Infinity Stones in your hand. You're just not playing anything. Bishop turn 3, and then Black Swan turn 4, and then turn 5 will be all of the Infinity Stones plus Hitmonkey, I guess, and something else, because you'll have
Thanos
5 power.
Oh, on the 6th.
Thanos on the 6th turn, but you got 5 power, and Hitmonkey costs like 2, maybe? I can't remember. I don't
think
have
he's 3.
So. Is he 3? He'll go up a good bit. That's kind of what we're going to see a lot. What are your thoughts here on Black Swan?
I think you said it all. If you get her as a random card, 3 cost, 5 power is not bad, but the effect's not going to do much. Playing her with Kazar would be good. I don't know. I don't see it as broken, but ask me again when someone's dropped 5 Infinity Stones and Hitmonkey in a single turn, and maybe I'll think differently.
And Bishop goes way up there too. I put down Mobius as a defense. If this does happen a lot, Mobius is a good card to get out there because they won't have their costs reduced, and Black Swan's just going to be a 3/5 doing nothing.
Yeah.
Super Giant, 4 cost, 5 power. On reveal, all cards played next turn don't reveal until the game ends. I put down here, I've never heard of this character.
She is the only member of the Black Order that didn't make it into the movie. I think largely because Marvel hasn't messed with telepathy very much in the movies.
Okay.
She is described in the comics as an omnipath, which I guess is a really, really good telepath.
Okay.
I don't know how that translates to her power in the game. For some reason, though, I really wanted to get her just because I always thought she was the most interesting of the Black Order, because she was like the only one that wasn't going around drooling and yelling murder. Okay, that's not really what they all do, but it's just a bunch of people who stab folks in creative ways, I guess. Anyway, but I tried 3 spotlight keys and haven't gotten her.
Oh.
Then I started thinking about some of the other ones coming up later, like maybe I ought to try for them.
What are your thoughts on the on reveal power here? We've got sort of like a dual invisible woman. You're laying Super Giant out there, and at that point, anything next turn is not going to be revealed at all. Now,
and I put in the notes here that she was like a character version of Lemuria, but she's not. It's until the game ends, but it's only the one time. I guess she's more of like I don't want to say more strategic, or more focused Invisible Woman. Because there are times when I'm like, well, I don't want that card to be revealed, but say you got Sunspot or whatever, you don't want them being held on to until the end of the game. Maybe she works with MODOK, because you don't want MODOK going off at the wrong time.
Right.
But then you can play other cards. It'd be interesting to see. I didn't look at it and see, oh, you know what'll work great is this. But I could see where she could come in handy. Or she could mess with your opponent if they're wanting to play a certain card right then.
It would have to be, like it says, all cards played next turn would be turn 5. Now, the opponent is probably going to be aware of what is happening on the boards. They're going to do only a few things.
Not necessarily if I'm the opponent. Just saying. I've missed some things.
Anyway, they could account on it, but just that opponent's probably, they want to play something. Usually turn 5 means there's a big card that you want to lay down.
Oh, Jane Foster.
It's true. That's eliminated then.
You'll get your 8 points, but you won't get your hammers.
No, you will not. Not till afterwards.
Or all the people you reversed with Mr. Negative. If you think Jane Foster's coming, play Super Giant, and that'd foul that up for sure.
All right, up next after that is Cull Obsidian. 4 cost, 10 power, but you can only play this where you have a 1 cost card. And my notes were nice big guy to help out the little guys, but I think he's going to be fodder for Shang-Chi, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking?
Well, it's another lower cost card that you could use to activate Scar or reduce Scar's powers. There's a little bit of drawback that you have to have the 1 power card there, but you compare him to Typhoid Mary, where you have to use Luke Cage or Zero or somebody to get rid of her effect or subtract 1 from everybody else. She's a good alternative there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe I a lot of times will have 3 1 cost cards in my deck, and I don't think as many people do that. So maybe that's where it's a little more of a challenge, that a lot of times I see people not playing anything on the first turns. Maybe that was the idea, that some people just feel like they can skip that first turn and put some more powerful cards in their decks. Cull Obsidian makes you'd want more than one cost card in your hand. He might be good to play with in a deck with Kazar and Shauna, because Shauna will get you a 1 cost card at every single location.
That's true. Maybe
you're throwing Dazzler in there, or even an Ultron deck, and he can help you fill that up with a more powerful card. The thing that I think is important to note about Cull Obsidian is that in the comics, Cull Obsidian was another name for the Black Order.
Oh.
They were called the Cull Obsidian, and that guy was called Black Dwarf, like the star.
When did this change?
I guess the Russos or whoever didn't want to call him Black Dwarf in the movie, which is kind of funny because except for Ebony Maw, I'm not sure. I can't remember if any of the Black Order were ever named in the movie. They were in the credits, but I never heard anybody go, hey, Corvus Glaive, back off.
Right, or Proxima I don't know if Proxima Midnight's name was ever mentioned either. I
don't know if they even called him Ebony Maw. I just remember Thanos calling him the Maw, but more endearingly, I remember Iron Man calling him Squidward. I guess they thought Black Dwarf was a little too funny for
this guy,
which would, for some people, that would be shocking to them that the MCU avoided humor. But I don't know. I just thought Cull Obsidian. I feel like that's a name you have to think too much about. I understand what the words mean, but still. Whereas Black Dwarf, it's like, oh, he's a big guy, but they call him Dwarf. It's like, to me, it's like Thanos is calling him Tiny. I prefer that name, but nobody asked me.
Oh, man. All right, up next, Corvus Glaive. On reveal, discard 2 cards from your hand, get +1 max energy. And yes, discard. You're going to put in your normal discard players, probably Swarm, Apocalypse, but I put Sunspot in here just to kind of absorb some of that extra energy that you may end up getting. Boy, would it be nice. I was sitting here thinking about Corvus Glaive out there turn 3, and then get you, if you can pull it off. I don't know if you could pull it off, though, because on turn 3, you're going to have, how many cards would you have in your hand max if you haven't laid any down? 4, 6. Is it going to be 6? He start out with 3. Turn 1's 4. Turn 2's 5. Turn 3 would be 6. Corvus Glaive is going to be one of those. You're going to be down to 3 cards. But potentially, if you could do Absorbing Man the next turn, there goes another 2 cards. But a Swarm's one of those.
Yeah.
And then you get now you're at +2 max energy
Or
for the rest.
Apocalypse.
Or Apocalypse. That's going to be pretty handy, and it's going to come in very, very handy when it comes to the next card that we're going to be talking about. But
Wolverine and X-23 would be good ones to play in there too, because if you discard them, they'd hop onto the board for you. Might be interesting to pair him with Havoc.
Oh,
and Corvus Glaive turn 3, Havoc turn 4, and then you'd max out at 5 energy, I think. I don't know how effective it will be, but worth a try. But the card that he probably pairs best with, besides Apocalypse and Swarm, is his wife.
Oh, yes. Proxima Midnight, right?
Yes, as played by the mom from Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Was she really?
Yep.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Her skin's not actually blue, Jesse.
Oh, I had no idea. Proxima Midnight, 4 cost, 7 power. When this is discarded, jumps to your lowest power location that isn't full. Oh, wow.
That's one thing to get Wolverine jumping from a 2 to a 4, or X-23 with 1 energy,
right.
7 power.
Daggone. I put down here MODOK's newest pal. Morbius is going to be out there. If you're blasting discard all over the place, Morbius will help out. Dracula, Apocalypse, and it's going to be a huge drop on the final turn. The final turn, if you just keep Proxima Midnight in your hand and you're able to do MODOK, well, there goes. You're able to play a 7 power. I don't know how much. I'd have to look. Is MODOK's power 8? You should know because you're a fan.
Oh, yeah.
But right there's 15. MODOK plays, and then Proxima Midnight drops. Apocalypse, if he's in your hand, that's another, 12. If you haven't discarded him already, that's a 27-point power play.
Well, now Apocalypse wouldn't jump to the board. He still has to be played.
Dracula's out there.
Oh, Dracula. Gotcha.
So yeah, Dracula. If Dracula's out there, turn 4. MODOK, I guess, drops turn 6. We'll just say Morbius is out there, Dracula's out there, then MODOK drops turn 6, and you have Apocalypse and Proxima Midnight in your hand.
She's about to be a must in discard decks.
She will be. She absolutely will be.
Which makes me wish that maybe I hadn't spent 3 spotlight keys on Supergiant. I went by the characters I like, not the effect.
Well, that's all right.
I don't care for Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight.
I think Corvus Glaive.
And they're not fans of mine, let's be honest.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. So there you go. There's the cards. Let's talk about locations. The locations, actually, Sanctuary 2, I thought was going to start today. That is not the case. I assume that's going to be next week. Sanctuary 2 is add a random Infinity Stone to your hand. And initially, I wrote down meh. I'm just not. That's not going to be that big of a deal, in my opinion. But again, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to Legion Sanctuary 2, and everybody's going to get Infinity Stones left and right. That's the plan. And if you can have Collector out there, then maybe you get yourself a little bonus.
Yep.
Killmonger, maybe. But I thought at first, I was like, these Infinity Stones, I don't know. But each one of them seems pretty impactful when they each have an on reveal ability, but the only one that didn't really have anything that helps you out at all is the Power Stone. And the only thing I think it helps you out with is the fact it's a 1/3.
Well, but think about, you wouldn't count on this, but Sanctuary 2 is the featured location. You play Thanos, you literally play your cards right. Maybe you get 2 Power Stones out there.
If you have Thanos, then great. For me, the Power Stone is going to do nothing because it'll come out and it'll be a 1/3 that says give Thanos 10 power.
Well, it's still a 1/3 that doesn't erase one of your card's abilities or discard somebody for you.
Right. I'll give him that. I'll give it that. I'm not too impressed with Sanctuary 2. I don't know what it's going to be like. I just know I'm going to Legion everything, and we're going to have a I actually created the deck today because I thought it was going to be the location today, and it was called Stone. It's called Stone. Simple, quite simple. You got any thoughts on Sanctuary 2?
Not really. I did have to look it up. I think it was Thanos' ship, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I guess it's nice that Infinity Stones can do something even if you don't have Thanos. It's just kind of an expansion of them in the game, I guess. I mean,
you normally don't get Infinity Stones at all unless you have Thanos in your hands. Yeah. That's going to be neat.
Occasionally, I'll grab one with Mirage.
I haven't used Mirage at all. I've had Mirage for a while, too. All right, Black Vortex. The first card you play here becomes a 6-cost card. Everybody's going to have the chance to turn into a 6-cost card. Now, I can't wait till somebody turns into a destroyer and destroys their whole board. I'm legioning that. I'm going to have Shang-Chi in the deck. We're all going to get 6-cost cards.
But again, let's be honest. You would legion Fogwell's gem. You just like to legion.
I wonder if it'd be great if you got 6 times the boosters.
But I don't think you do.
Oh, that sucks. What are you thinking about the Black Vortex?
I mean, drop Hood on there, get a 1/6 demon, and get Hood as something else.
Something else.
I mean, it's going to be a bummer when you get Null and no one's playing Destroy, but otherwise, heck, even then, it's an upgrade because it's not -3. It's just one less card to annihilate over. Mainly, it's going to be a 1-cost card. I guess you could throw Adam Warlock on there, but if you're actually putting Adam Warlock in your deck, you probably have a reason.
Oh, it's true. You kind of want that card, usually.
But in general, unless it's Null, or unless it's the Destroyer, but that's why you do it early. You try not to do it late unless some nut job legions everything. But otherwise, there's not a lot of downside.
Thanks a lot for joining us. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the next installment of Snap Material.